welcome back to another episode of Tell Me Darling. I am Jess.
And I'm Phil.
And this is Phil. We're back for another week, pumping out 2 episodes in 1 week. Go us. That's a fair effort.
I think it was very good.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't keep the people waiting, or you wanted to get the part 2 out.
Yeah. Well, I was just like writing part 1 and I felt like it was taking me so long. Anyway, I got to the end of part 1 and I was like, I'm just going to call it here and split it up. And then when I was doing part 2, I was like, there's lots of information here, but there's not much of a story, if that makes sense. I felt like all of the good story part happened in part 1.
Yep.
And then the second part was kind of just leaving all the facts. I don't know. I didn't know if it would be a full episode's worth, if that makes sense. So I was like, no, we can just pump this out. And then that way people can listen to it together, because I feel like it worked better together and not separated over a week, because it was such a big, long story as well. I was like, nah, we can do it. Anyway, we got it done and we're back for another episode on time.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Is this 14 or 15?
15. Episode 15.
Wow.
I know.
That's good.
It is pretty good. I when I first started this, I was like, let's get to episode 20 and then we'll have a little break, call that season 1. But I don't know if the people will let us have a break.
What? You told me that was a plan. We'll do it in seasons.
Yeah, I know.
20 episodes a season.
20 episodes a season, just a little break in between.
I need a break, people. We're doing 20 and that's it. We're just going to wait a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it is
a couple
of
lot. Months.
It is a lot. My plan during that time, honestly, is to just look up cases and have them ready to go, and scripts started, because that's the hardest part, is writing the script. I think just every week it's a lot. It takes me a day to 2 days to do it.
Yes, it does.
It's a lot, but it's good. But we'll see how we're feeling when it comes to week 20 on whether or not we call it.
We will call it. I'm calling it. I'm the executive director here.
What's normal in seasons? I don't actually know. Do people even do seasons in podcasts?
Some people just keep going.
Some people do just keep going.
We can have seasons.
Maybe. Maybe. Because we actually are going away in October on another cruise. We're going to Vanuatu and Numia. And I think that's around our 20 episode mark. So
that's
maybe we just take 2 weeks off or something to enjoy our holiday.
Or we do
if that's okay.
No, we can't do one from the cruise.
No, we can't do one from the cruise.
Yeah, but that's exciting.
That is exciting. I'm very excited. The kids are super excited. After I went on my cruise the other week, it just I got more excited for our next cruise with my family, because my family weren't on my last cruise.
No, we weren't.
No, you weren't.
She left us.
Yeah, I did.
She left me.
It was a different kind of cruise for me.
It was a party cruise.
Party cruise for me, yeah. I drank a lot. But not a lot, but a lot. More than what I would with our kids. Anyway, it is Father's Day this weekend. So happy.
Better have something good planned for me.
Oh, I don't. I'm telling you now, I don't. I've booked breakfast and that's about it. That's as far as our day goes.
Nah, I'll be happy either way.
I know you will be happy.
You could buy me gold class tickets to see Equalizer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks.
That'd be fun.
I have been scratching my head about what to get you for Father's Day this year. Yeah. I feel like I'm normally really good with my gifts. But Father's Day is hard for me, because I feel like it's Father's Day. So you want to get gifts that compliment you as a dad and support you as a dad, but it's different to your birthday in my head. I really think about my gifts hard and try to personalize them. And I feel like Father's Day gifts are way different to your birthday gifts. And I already know what I want to get you for your birthday.
I know what I want for my birthday.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I know what you're thinking. Cake, probably.
A cake?
Some kind of cake.
Why would I want a cake for my birthday?
This juicy cake sitting right here.
Oh, wow. No, I wasn't thinking that.
What do you want for your birthday?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I want.
Yeah, cake. Exactly.
I'm easy. You could get me nothing and I'll still be happy. You know me.
Anyway, well, thank you for that little gift idea. Ladies, if you're listening, gold class movie tickets. I think that we forget about that. It's an underrated gift,
we just want a little bit of me time.
Yeah.
Go take one of my bros. I'd go by myself.
Yeah, I'd
go by myself.
But I want to go, so.
Oh.
Sorry. But anyway, it is Father's Day this Sunday. So happy Father's Day to the one of dads listening, which are probably being forced to listen in the car with their wives. We appreciate you being here, whether you enjoy it or not. It will rub off on you because that's how Phil got here. I used to force him to listen to true crime, and he hated it at first. Then he'd be like, "Don't listen to that one without me." And here we are now. We have our own true crime podcast.
And then I started listening to them by myself. I'd be mowing and listening to them.
Stop. Which one? Who do you listen to?
Oh, no, I did. I don't listen to them anymore.
Oh, you don't at the moment.
Because I listen to I don't even listen to this one because I'm in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to listen to them when I'd be mowing.
Yeah.
Like, go mow.
I haven't been listening as much lately, to be honest.
And also on that note of Happy Father's Day to all the mums out there that are playing father as well.
Yeah.
Much respect to them.
Shout out. Single mum represents over here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. It's a hard job being a single mum. Fuck, it's a hard job being a mum with a husband that does a lot of the work. So
and not 80% of the work.
Shut up. Fucking hell. But anyway, anything else that you want to add?
No, because I feel like we've only just
We didn't talk last week though. For part 2, we got straight into it. Do you want to fuck around?
What have I got to add? What's been going on?
What has been going on? Come on, Phil. Nobody can hear you thinking.
I know no one can hear me thinking. No, I don't think there's been much else going on, babe. You know me, just working.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I had something. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Have I got anything that's happened in the last week that I can share?
Oh, golly gosh. No, don't think so.
I feel I have. So. It'll come back to me halfway through the episode. I'll just
cut us off and be like, hey guys, I got to share. Well,
what you got to share?
Nothing. I haven't got much. I did put up a question box very last minute to open up to our listeners if you guys wanted us to talk about anything or give a little shout out. But I didn't have it up long enough, so I didn't get any replies.
None.
Nah, I got a couple. I got like case suggestions. So I think people misinterpreted what I was asking. I kind of want like a little interactive.
Something at the start.
Something just to be like you guys can interact. Because that's what I like hearing on podcasts when people read out like their comments or like they're like, a listener sent this in. Like I love listening to those. It just feels like.
But case suggestions still isn't a bad thing as well.
Not a bad thing, but it's not something I'll talk about in the thing. But I get those in my DMs already. But one person that did reply that wasn't a case suggestion is Elizabeth Macy Photography. She is a Melbourne-based photographer and she wanted a shout out. She listens every Wednesday. So I'm going to give it to her. Shout out to Macy. That's your little shout out for this week. But anyway, Macy. If you've got anything to share, even if it's like good news, like you got a new job or something like that, I don't care what it is. Let's have a chat. I'll share it. Or a review. I love reviews.
We should do a live, you want to do a live chat with someone one day?
Nah.
Okay.
It's not a radio station.
No, but it could be.
Okay. No. Anyway, that's just, I'd like to engage. And like reviews. I love reviews. I don't read them on Apple or I don't think you can read them on Spotify. I can see them. I don't read them because I get like anxiety about what I'm going to read because you don't know. It could be good. It could be really bad. Just don't know. But when they're in my DMs and they're like, hey guys, love your podcast. I'm like, okay, I can read this. Like it's great. I don't take criticism well. Makes me cry.
Who cares? Good, bad, whatever.
Yeah. Actually, we get a lot of good feedback. I think the first week was like rough because, people were just jumping on a hate bandwagon because it was something new that we were trying. But now that they've like got bored of pretending to listen, we only have the people here that actually like our podcast. And for that, I am grateful. And let's get into today's episode.
Tell me, darling.
We just talked a lot. All right. Are you ready? Yes, you are.
Yes.
So, our story begins in April of 1995 in the city of Houston, Texas.
All right. So I'm there. I'm there. Like at the start when you tell me what year, where we are, I just picture myself there. Mm-hmm. I'm in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
It's 1995.
It sure was.
I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And I'm ready for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're in Houston, Texas, home of Beyonce, the Houston Rockets, and the Astrodome. Just thought I'd add some little. Do you know any of those things?
Please. Yes.
Houston Rockets?
Yes.
The basketball team? Baseball team?
basketball.
I was just testing.
Yep.
Okay. 25-year-old Jennifer Morey was in town for the weekend apartment shopping as she planned to move here in the coming weeks for work.
Where's she from?
Don't know.
What the fuck?
I tried. I very much tried.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Jennifer was a lawyer who was making her way up in this male-dominated field. After looking at a few apartments, Jennifer finally signs a lease at the Bayo Park apartment complex on Memorial Drive. She leased a single-bedroom apartment on the second story with a beautiful open balcony facing the street. Jennifer was looking for an apartment that really made her feel safe in this new city she was moving to. After all, she was new in town and a single woman who would be living alone, so safety was a top priority in her search. Something that really influenced her to move to the Bayo apartment complex was the 8-foot fence that went all the way around the complex, and the fact that there were 24-hour on-site security provided by Pinkerton Security. So basically they had on-site security walking around and
24/7?
24/7.
In this apartment block she wanted to buy in.
In this complex.
Yeah. All right.
So a couple of weeks later, on the 15th of April, Jennifer is all moved in and settled in her apartment, and it's about 10 p.m. at night.
Just out of curiosity, what'd she pay for it back then?
Don't know, Dal. Sorry.
Bet it would have been cheap.
$19.95.
Compared to what it is.
Well, it's a lease. She didn't buy it.
Oh, she didn't buy
She's
one?
renting.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
I did say lease.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a couple of weeks later on the 15th of April, and Jennifer is all moved in and settled in her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 10 p.m. at night, and she gets a call from one of her girlfriends. She tells Jennifer that her and some other friends are heading to this pub called the Ale House, and asked if Jennifer wanted to come. And Jennifer is like, yeah, sure. So she meets up with her friend, and together they make their way to the Ale House to meet up with some other friends, and they had a good time together. Mm-hmm. They had a couple of drinks and hung out, and she just enjoyed the evening with her friends.
And Jennifer's friends, they already lived in the area?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
They didn't travel far.
Okay.
No, yeah.
All right.
She met a man there, and he offered to give Jennifer a ride home, and Jennifer accepted, and he drove her home, dropped her off at her apartment at around 1 a.m. in the morning, and he went on his way. Jennifer goes upstairs to her apartment, which is on the second floor. She lets herself in and closes the door and locks the deadbolt as normal. She goes to the bathroom and gets changed. She washes her face, brushes her teeth, and then goes to bed and goes to sleep.
Okay, so she's gone out with her girlfriends for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like they've had a fun night.
Yeah, a little fun night and some drinking.
Some random takes her home.
Some man, someone that she met drops her at home. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
But shout out to her skincare routine. We love that. Doesn't matter how drunk you are, how late it is, you wash your face before you go to bed.
Yeah, but you also don't get a ride home with a stranger.
I feel like...
Or we don't know. It was just could have been... Was it a stranger?
I don't know. Yes,
with what we learnt from last case.
Yes, everything that we learn tells you not to. But I suppose if you're out on the town, you've had a few drinks, you're hanging out with this guy all night, he offers to drive you home. I don't know.
Okay, carry on.
So Jennifer is sleeping, and then she slowly starts to stir. In the middle of the night when you're just kind of tossing and turning. Mm-hmm. You kind of wake up, but you don't. And she kind of wakes up and she goes to move, but she can't. Like her body's not letting her move.
She paralyzed, she drunk, or she getting held down?
Well, as she kind of is waking up, she can feel weight, pressure on her body, pushing her down into her mattress. Uh-oh. And she realizes that someone is on top of her. So she's woken up and she just feels heavy weight, and she's wakes up and someone's on top of her.
Yep.
And Jennifer is still kind of dazed. She's just woken up from a deep sleep, and she's kind of what's going on? Who's here? She's been drinking. Why are you smiling?
I'm just picturing that.
Yeah. Okay.
I just can't picture her thinking it like that.
She doesn't say it, but she's you have to imagine she's been out drinking.
Yep.
She didn't get home till 1 a.m. It's now 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Uh-huh. And she's just kind of stirred, and she can just feel weight on top of her. She's not awake.
Okay.
She's still dazed and not really at first she's what's going on? Who's here? She's not really thinking.
All right.
And then she starts to feel whoever this is pulling at her underwear, like trying to take them off. And while she's still trying to adjust to being awake, she can feel on her legs the legs of whoever is on top of her, and she notices like leg hair, like rough leg hair, and she's still like, you know, trying to figure out what's going on. So she reaches her hands up like in a motion to push whomever is on top of her like off, and it was kind of like, yeah, she puts her hand up to kind of push them off, and she feels a knife against her throat, and then that was kind of a turning point for her state. Like she immediately like was awake, like clear as day, which I'm assuming was like a rush of adrenaline. She's like, okay, someone's on top of me. They got a knife. They're pulling at my undies. And this is like every girl's worst nightmare. I think like any girl that lives alone, especially, like we all watch SVU, and I couldn't imagine anything worse than waking up and having someone ripping at your underwear in the middle of the night. So she realizes, like, with the knife and whoever this is pulling off her underwear, that she's, you know, about to be raped. And so she starts screaming as loud as she can. She's screaming, no, please don't hurt me. No, like she's really screaming. She's kicking and she's pushing and trying to push the knife away from her. She's fighting back as hard as she can. And this makes the man on top of her mad, but she doesn't stop. Like, I mean, she's in an apartment complex like it's around 3 or 4 in the morning, so it's quiet. So surely someone would hear her, and she's screaming. Yeah.
I was just thinking. Sorry, I'm probably jumping the gun. Where's the security?
Well, it's like 2 seconds into her attack.
Okay. Yeah. But how did he get past security is what I want to know.
I say apartment complex, but it's kind of like, I would guess if I had to like convert it, it's kind of like townhouses in Australia. Okay. Like it's kind of like that, or like, no, actually not. You know, like not like single building apartment complexes, but they're like units. It's more like a unit. So like it's like a freestanding building with like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's like a few rows of those. So it's not just one building with one entry. The apartments all have their own outside door, shared balcony kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's 3 or 4 in the morning. It's quiet. Surely someone would hear her. So she's screaming, and suddenly she like cops a blow to her right eye. Like she immediately feels like this hard hit, and then like wetness rushing down her face, and it's blood. The man slashed Jennifer's face, and it was bleeding everywhere, like kind of just across her eye. And so at this point, Jennifer is like, okay, like I need to get this man off me or he's going to kill me. She does not want this man to get the better of her, not here in her bed, in her apartment. Like this man will not rape her and not kill her. So it's dark in Jennifer's apartment. There's blood in her right eye, and she also doesn't have her contacts in. So her vision is like really bad at this point. She can't really make out the man's face. She can just sort of see his outline and that he has short hair, but she really can't make out who the man is or what he looks like. So she continues to fight and scream when suddenly the man says to her, Jennifer, shut up, shut the hell up. And she's like, oh my God, this man knows me. So scary, right? And so while she's fighting, she's trying to think in her head, like, who could this possibly be that knows me and who would do this to me? But she doesn't recognize her attacker's voice, and she couldn't see his face. So she kept like fighting. She thought if she just held on long enough that he would give up and leave her alone. But Jennifer's hopes quickly turned to horror when in an instant, the man put his knife to Jennifer's throat and he cuts it. He slits her throat. From about her jawline down to like the middle of her neck. So not like left to right slit, but like just a good slash, like on an angle. The man says to Jennifer, shut up, don't look at me, bitch. Like he really doesn't want her to know who he is.
Of course he doesn't.
Yeah. Which to me says that he doesn't intend to kill her. Yeah. Right? Because like you would assume that if he's like, don't look at me.
Yeah, he wants to do what he wants to do and get away with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he's planning on killing her, he
wouldn't care.
He wouldn't care because he'd do what he wanted to do and then kill her. Yeah.
But then at the same time, he's like slit her face twice. So, so he says, if you do anything, I'll kill you. And Jennifer faces a real battle inside her mind. She wants to fight, like she wants to fight back, and she's a lawyer. So a part of her wants to look, you know, like at his face, because she's trained to gather as much evidence as possible in a case. Like, we've learned from listening to true crime and watching true crime shows that if you can in the moment try to remember as much details as possible and leave as much traces of evidence as you can. But on the other hand, she's thinking, what if that cost me my life? Like, you know, I always say, like, fight back, always fight back. But I guess there are scenarios where fighting back isn't the answer.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
tough. It's a shit
it's
situation.
really tough because there's so many different sides of true crime cases. Like, I listened to one the other week, and the lady, instead of fighting back, she was like, yeah, I've really needed this. Thank you. Like, this is really great. Thank you so much. And she kind of praised her rapist, but ultimately he didn't kill her. And he was like, yeah, you're welcome, and left. And that saved her.
Fuck.
Whereas if she fought back, he would have killed her. So it's really, it's so hard to know what to do. So she just decides that maybe if I just do what he says, he won't kill me. So she stops fighting, and she just kind of lays there silent and almost gives up. The man grabs Jennifer by her hair, and he drags her out of the bedroom and tells Jennifer to get into the bathroom. So she does. And then he walks back towards the bedroom to get his knife. Jennifer instantly slams the bathroom door shut. And she suddenly realizes that the bathroom doesn't have a lock on the door. So she leans against the door to hold it shut, like just like on her side. But she's like, if he pushes against the door, like,
he's going to be able to open
there's no way that she's going to be able to hold this door shut. Like, she's got a gash across her eye. She can't see. Like, she's bleeding out by the throat.
Has she got an escape? Like, she have a window in her bathroom, being in a unit, or not?
It doesn't mention a window, no. So she puts her back against the door.
Yeah.
And she slides down the door, like, to sit on the ground. And with her back against the door, she stretches out her legs and she presses her feet against the bathtub. So she's kind of sitting in like an L shape.
Yep.
And she's using all of her strength in her legs just to hold like against the bathtub and push against the bathroom door so that he cannot get in this bathroom door. So she's not making a sound at this point. Like, she's silent and it's quiet. And while holding the door, she just listens to hear like whatever noise she can hear. And she can...
So he doesn't know at this stage that she's shut the door and locking it?
No.
Well, not locking it, but she's forcing it closed?
Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, he doesn't know. So she can hear the man moving around her apartment, grabbing things and moving things, and she can hear him walking in around her apartment.
Okay.
And like, it's so quiet.
So he's done what he's done, and then has he told her to go to the bathroom?
So after she was just like kind of stopped fighting,
he
grabs her by the hair and drags her close to the bathroom and says, "Get in the bathroom."
Oh, he puts her in there.
Yeah, drags her there, and as he walks off to go and, I think, like, maybe get his knife, she shuts the door.
Okay.
So she's not making sound, super quiet. She can hear him moving around and like picking things up and whatever. And then she can hear him pull up his zipper, like put his pants on and pull up his zipper. Like, she's that quiet. Right. She can hear every sound.
So hopefully she's thinking that's it. He's hopefully going to leave by now.
Yeah. So Jennifer's still in the bathroom with her back pressing against the door. She can feel like blood dripping, like not only from her eye, but from her throat. Like it's just kind of nicked her jugular. So it's not fully cut it to the point where it's squirting. Yeah. But she's still losing a lot of blood. She reaches over and she grabs a toilet roll that's sitting on the toilet roll holder, and she just presses the whole thing against her throat. She doesn't like unroll it. She just holds it up there to slow the bleeding down, and she waits. And after a few minutes of not hearing any sounds, Jennifer decides that if she wants to live, she is going to need to leave this bathroom. Otherwise, she's going to bleed out and she's going to die. Like, she's already fought this hard. She thinks that she's survived her attack. And now she's going to just bleed out in her bathroom after all of that and die. So she listens a little longer, and finally she decides she needs to move. Like, she needs to get out of this bathroom.
Has she heard like front door, any doors closed?
She doesn't hear anything anymore.
Yep.
So she stands up and she reaches for the knob on the door, but her hands are covered in blood, and it's just so slippery on the doorknob. So she's like trying to grab it and she's slipping. She finally gets a grip. And then when she tries to open the door, she realizes that while using all of her strength to keep that door shut, she's jammed it. She's pushed it so hard that the door is like stuck. She can't get it open. So now she's like, how do I open this door? Because she planned to just slowly open it and kind of peek out.
That's interesting.
But now she's going to have to like yank the door and it's going to make a sound.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's still there, he's going to hear it. So she's really like, fuck, what do I do now? But she's like, I either die in here, bleeding out, or I go out there and yes, he's still there. And
she was cut deep enough to bleed out?
Yeah, it's like nicked her jugular. So it's slow, but left untreated.
Okay.
She's feeling weaker. Yep. She's feeling dizzy. So she decides she has to go out. Like she's going to die in here if she doesn't try. So she starts jerking the door to get it open. And she's terrified because she wants to do this quietly. I mean, she doesn't know if he's left or not, or if he's like waiting on the other side. Like this could be like a game to him. But she figures, I've got to do it. She jerks it. And finally, like the door opens. And she crawls out of the bathroom. And Jennifer, like instinctively, she calls out hello. She's like, hello? Like it just came out. And there's no reply, and she starts trying to turn the lights on, but none of them are working. And she thinks to herself, did I not pay the electricity bill? And they've gone to turn the power off tonight of all nights. Like that was her first thought. Yeah. She's like, oh my God. And then she goes to her room to use the home phone and it's dead. So she realizes actually, no, the power's probably been cut and that's why the lights aren't turning on. She makes her way back to the living room and she crawls up onto her sofa and she just kind of sits there for a minute, like catching her breath and thinking like, what is she going to do next? And she has this moment where she thinks, oh my God, like what if he's still here? Like what if he's just hiding behind the sofa and he's just going to jump up and like kill me? Or what if he's in the kitchen?
She hasn't just thought to beeline it out of the front door and try and knock on a neighbour's door?
She can barely stand.
Okay.
Like she's lost a lot of blood.
Yeah.
She's fought really hard. Like she's exhausted. So she starts looking around her apartment, just like kind of feeling she can't really see that well. She's got blood everywhere. She doesn't have contacts in. She finds a handbag and she finds a cell phone in her handbag. She has a phone. She calls 911. Richard Beckett was the 911 dispatcher who answered Jennifer's call that early morning. And during the call, he really comforted Jennifer and made her feel like she had someone who was going to keep her safe. I am going to play like a little snippet of the phone call for you. So that's a little bit of the call. Richard really comforted Jennifer during this call. Like he made Jennifer feel like she had someone who was going to keep her safe. And Jennifer felt like she had a friend with her in that moment, someone that she could trust. So this call went on for a while. Like while Jennifer waited for the emergency services to arrive, Richard stayed on the call, keeping her calm and just talking to her. And about 15 minutes into the 911 call, there's a pounding on Jennifer's front door. And Jennifer says to Richard, oh, thank God, they're here.
Uh-oh.
And the dispatcher, Richard, says, I've got the Houston Fire and Police on my screen and they're not there yet.
Oh, shit.
He says to Jennifer, he says to Jennifer, don't answer that door. Do not answer that door right now. And Jennifer calls out, hello, like to whoever is at the door. And the man says, it's security at the door. And so Jennifer tells the dispatcher, they said it's security. And then Jennifer calls back out to them again and he asks them their name. Richard, the dispatcher, asked Jennifer if there is a peephole in Jennifer's door that she can look out of, but Jennifer is covered in blood and she hasn't got her contacts in. So she says, yeah, but like I can't see anyway. Like I don't have my contacts in.
Oh, man.
So the voice on the other side of the door keeps banging and knocking and promising Jennifer, I'm going to help you. Just open the door, Jennifer. Like he's being very persistent and he's trying very hard to get inside. And Jennifer tells the dispatcher this. She says he really wants to come inside, and he says to Jennifer, if you don't know who this is on the other side, do not open that door.
Yep.
He's being very calm, he's being very like relaxed, but he's being very like,
don't do it.
Yes,
Just,
Jennifer, I know you're scared. I know you're in pain.
Yep.
Like, don't open the door. Like, the police are not that far away. And the man's like, it's okay. Like, I'm security. I will show you my badge. Like, I'm here to help you. You just need to let me in. And Jennifer, at this point, like, she almost starts pleading with the dispatcher on the phone. Like, she says to him, like, I think he wants to help me. Like, I got to get out of here. I think I need to open the door. And Richard, the dispatcher, again says, Jennifer, please, like, I need you to wait. Don't open the door. Like, please. And as Jennifer sits waiting for the emergency services to arrive, she assesses her injuries. She realizes that not only does she have a cut across her face and her throat slash, she'd also been stabbed a second time in her throat and twice in her arm. And the reality of her situation creeps in. Like, she doesn't know if at this point she's going to make it. And she starts to blame herself for even being in this situation. She wonders to herself, like, did I do something wrong to end up in this situation? Like, she's basically blaming herself for what's happening to her, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Jennifer hears lots of voices and commotion outside. And she hears Houston police. Like, they shout out Houston police. They announce themselves, and Richard, the 911 dispatcher, confirms that they've arrived and they're on scene, and it is them.
Good.
Like, they're there. So Jennifer manages to get herself to her front door, and she opens it and she just collapses right there. Like, she is exhausted at this point. And while laying there with all of the commotion, emergency services are seeing to her, and she overhears someone say that they have a security guard injured as well. And this upset Jennifer. Like, someone else had been hurt during this attack on her.
Yep.
The security guard told police that he had been injured while attempting to restrain Jennifer's attacker, and he told them that he had seen the man fleeing Jennifer's place and tried to subdue him, but he was injured in the process and the man got away.
Yep.
And then he went to Jennifer's apartment and he was banging on the door trying to get in to help Jennifer.
So that actually was a security guard, was it?
Yes, it was a security guard.
I guess it's so hard. She probably did do the right thing not knowing, because it still could have been the attacker. But it's difficult.
Yeah, it's hard. So they take Jennifer to the hospital, and while this is happening, the police enter Jennifer's apartment and they find some items that didn't belong to Jennifer. They found a pair of underwear, a belt, a glove, a knife, and a Pinkerton security guard hat. So upon discovering this, the police decide to re-interview the security guard who had been injured and found banging on Jennifer's door upon their arrival. They ask him if he could remove his boots. He was wearing cowboy boots. And he removes his boots, and he had white socks on, and they were covered in blood splatter. They then ask him to remove his shirt, and he has blood on his torso. And finally, they ask him to remove his pants, and he has no underwear on. The man who had broken into Jennifer's apartment and attempted to rape and murder her is the same man who was banging out on Jennifer's door 15 minutes later, begging her to let him inside. He was also the same on-duty security guard at Jennifer's apartment complex. He was working. He was on shift when he broke into her apartment and tried to rape her. Can you believe that?
Well, I can believe it now. It's all adding up. I was like, because when I said, where was the security?
Yeah.
It was there.
He was there.
But then when security tried to say he got hurt, he fucking didn't get hurt.
He didn't.
Fuck. Man, that's hectic.
That's insane. That's insane.
What
Not
a
like,
grub.
yeah, I work here sometimes. I'm working. I'm on the fucking roster.
I bet he got fired.
Good one.
Yeah.
So the man is arrested, and after this, the detectives visit Jennifer in the hospital, and she comes out of surgery and she's awake, and they say, Jennifer, girl, like, you put up one hell of a fight. Like, there was blood on the ceiling, on the walls, it was everywhere. And like, honestly, power to her, because she absolutely did. Despite her injuries, despite the knife, despite the circumstances, the man did not succeed in raping Jennifer.
Oh, so he didn't?
He didn't. No.
So he tried, but then that's when he dragged her and put her in the...
Yeah, so when she kind of stopped fighting, that's when he dragged her into the bathroom. He didn't rape her.
Mm-hmm.
He could... different sources kind of say that he couldn't rape her. Like, maybe he had a bit of a moment.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't raped, thankfully.
Yep.
It would also come out after police interviews that within the 15 other apartments in Jennifer's complex, 20 people heard her screams that night and not one person called the police.
Damn.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. Why?
Don't they call it, what's the term for it? When they just people, well, some people just like mind their business a little too hard.
It's not my business. Like it's not my.
They just assume that someone else is going to do it.
Okay.
Oh, what's that term? I gotta find it.
I don't know the term, but yeah, I know what you. Yeah, they're just thinking, oh, so if someone else is hearing this, they'll do it, or they'll even think it's not my problem, which is sad. Either way, they're all sad.
Yeah.
If you think
bystander effect, it's called.
Yeah.
Which is basically like you just assume that someone else is going to do it.
Wow.
So you don't. Like, yeah. But yeah, not one person called the police. She's screaming, no, stop, please don't hurt me.
Yep.
Fucking blood curdling screams and no one.
So when he left, did he leave and then he thought, oh fuck, I've left half my shit in there? Is that why he was coming back?
That's why he came back.
Or did he want to come back and finish the job?
I mean, it could have been a bit of both.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he left everything behind.
In a hurry.
He left in a hurry.
Yeah, and then thought, oh, I've left my knife, my other stuff, my hat, my underwear. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jennifer's attacker was a man by the name of Brian Wayne Gibson, who was working as a security guard at the complex. After Jennifer's attack, he was arrested and charged and convicted with aggravated burglary with the intent to commit sexual assault.
What?
So not attempted murder.
Yeah, why not attempted murder?
I don't know. Can you believe that?
I can't.
He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, which he has since served and been released, as this case did happen in 1995.
How old was he at the time?
26, according to sources. But he looked like he was fucking 38.
Yeah.
He was so, yeah. And I don't have, unfortunately, any update on Brian or where he is. I spent a lot of time trying to find out, like, his parole, like, rules and all, like, where he was staying or just, like, what he's up to. And I couldn't find anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, please tell me that Jennifer...
Yeah.
Has she gone on to become a successful lawyer fighting these types of crimes?
Sort of. After the attack, Jennifer's mental health did suffer and she lived with fear for a while. Like she moved in with her mum and she didn't sleep much and every noise would kind of keep her awake. But eventually she was able to overcome her feelings of fear and start to rebuild her life.
Yeah.
Jennifer did go on to file a lawsuit against Pinkerton Security, and in 1998 she was awarded an undisclosed amount of money from the agency. I tried to find out more about this as well, but all I could find was like kind of like a Reddit, what do you call it? Thread, which said that the reason being was like Pinkerton Security had a lot of like convicted
cases against them.
Like convicted like criminals on their
Wow.
payroll. Like, and it's hard because like you know we talk about like giving people second chances, but then things like this happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was like kind of one of the things that she had in her case, but also like this man shouldn't have been a security guard. Did he have prior records? Yeah, I believe he had a prior, but I just couldn't find out exactly what. Yeah. So, but anyway, she was awarded an undisclosed amount of money from the agency, and the same year she opened her own family practice in Fort Worth and met the man who would become her husband. The two of them have 2 beautiful children together, and Jennifer currently works as a family law attorney and mediator at her own law practice. That's good. So she's doing well. She's thriving. In the years after her attack, Jennifer and her 911 hero Richard still remained friends. When Jennifer talks about Richard, she says, having instinct, intuition, and a big heart saved my life. And for that, he will always be one of the most important people that's ever impacted my life. And I was lucky enough that when I got married, he came to my wedding. Oh. And that was the story of Jennifer Morey. Wow. Hectic, hey? Hectic.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was a survivor story this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy to believe. So the guy, and I was thinking, the guy that's dropped her off has gone back and done something.
I know. No.
But it's your own, I was going to say your own people, but the people that you think you
are supposed to protect you.
Would she have crossed paths with him in like previously, like on a day-to-day basis? Like,
I assume that yes, they would have. Yeah. He knew who she was and was like, "Don't look at me," kind of thing. He worked at the complex, like he knew her name. But like it's so sad to me that she picked this place specifically for safety. She's like, it has a fence, it has security, like I'm good, I'm relaxed. And then like the worst thing ever happens to her.
Yeah, well, she fought.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She did. And now she's thriving. Yeah. So, yeah, I just felt like we needed like a feel-good story with lots of clarity this week.
I needed a feel-good with
an ending.
Survivor, and an ending, and I need to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to know.
Yeah. But anyway, that was this week's case. So I hope you guys liked it. I don't want to say a good time recently. I love Survivor ones. Yes. I love Survivor ones. Like I love the Survivor ones. But that's this week's episode. So if you enjoyed it, please, if you can, go and give us a little rating on Spotify or wherever you're listening, or subscribe to us on YouTube and leave us a little comment on socials so that we can share it in next week's episode. Do you have anything else to add?
Nah, stay safe out there, people.
Stay safe. And again, happy Father's Day to all the dads on Sunday. I hope you guys have a great day.
No, you don't.
No, I don't care. No, I'm kidding. Bye, everyone.
See you and tell me next week.
We'll get it right one
day. Episode 20 we will.
Bye, guys.
Bye.